Hollywood is known for a specific genre of horror movies. The curse ones, which lead to real-life deaths on set and inside cinema halls. How much of it is true? One thing is for sure, if you're afraid of any horror movie, these 8 astonishing films, which are surrounded by tragedies that are anything but ordinary, will make you run for the hills. But, as die-hard horror fans gear up for their fearless Halloween rewatch, we compiled the true stories behind the deadliest movies ever made, and whether they are truly curse. Antrim, the deadliest film ever made, 2020. It's a bit cheeky to put deadliest film ever made right in the title of a film, but the Canadian horror mockumentary allegedly led to the deaths of nearly 60 audience members. The rumor around this movie, which follows a boy and a girl trying to save the soul of the deceased dog, is that anyone who watches it will die soon after. It was, supposedly, made in 1979, only to be lost and re-released in 2020. The film starts with a nearly 8-minute documentary about the deaths it caused. Most notably, in 1988, 56 viewers allegedly died in a small theater in Budapest after several fires broke out within the audience. The Crow, 1994. The tragedy of The Crow is almost too sad to believe, as its breakout star, Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's only son, died after a freak accident on set. On March 31, 1993, Lee was filming a scene where his character, Eric, confronts his fiancée's attackers. Michael Massey, playing the character Funboy, was supposed to fire a .44 Magnum revolver as Lee walked into the room. The revolver was meant to contain dummy cartridges, or blank ammunition. However, it had been accidentally mishandled by the prop department, and actually fired, mortally wounding Lee. The props team had been strapped for time, so, instead of going out to buy dummy cartridges, that is, rounds that are void of primers, propellants and explosive charge, they created their own dummy cartridges, by taking bullets from live rounds, dumping out the powder charge, and reinserting the bullets. This began an unfortunate series of events, which led to the revolver in question actually firing, and Lee being fatally struck in the abdomen. He died during surgery after being rushed to the hospital. As Lee only had 3 more days of filming left, the filmmakers decided not to remove him from the film. They partially rewrote the script and used a stunt double and CGI to film the remainder of the scenes.
Before we proceed, please subscribe and don't forget to click the notification bell down below and leave your comments and suggestions.
The Twilight Zone, the movie, 1983. The grisly deaths of 2 child actors and 1 adult on the set of The Twilight Zone has become its legacy. The sci-fi horror anthology film, directed by John Landis, became notorious for its fatal stunt helicopter crash. On July 23, 1982, at approximately 2:30 a.m., actor Vic Morrow, and child actors Micah Dinler, 7, and Renee Shin-Yi Chen, 6, died in the brutal helicopter accident. Morrow's character had traveled back in time and found himself in a deserted Vietnamese village where he met 2 Vietnamese kids, and a U.S. Army helicopter began to shoot at him. In the scene, they try to escape. But, unbeknown to a ground technician, the helicopter pilot was struggling to navigate through the fireballs created by the pyrotechnic effects. The low-flying helicopter spun out of control and its top rotor blades decapitated Morrow and Le, while one of the struts crushed Chen to death. All 3 died on the scene. Steven Spielberg, producer and co-director, was disgusted by the way Landis handled the situation, and severed the friendship. He also wanted an end of the New Hollywood era, where film directors were the key authority on a film. Spielberg said, "No movie is worth dying for. I think people are standing up much more now than ever before to producers and directors who ask too much. If something isn't safe, it's the right and responsibility of every actor or crew member to yell, 'Cut.'" Poltergeist 1, 2 and 3, 1982, 1986 and 1988. The Poltergeist trilogy has long been plagued with rumors that its curse. 4 deaths in total are linked to the cast of the film. Actress Dominique Dunne, 22, who played Dana Freeling in the first movie, died in 1982 at a medical center in Los Angeles, after slipping into a coma from which she never woke up. Having ended an abusive relationship, Dunne's former boyfriend, John Sweeney, strangled her for between 4 to 6 minutes, and left her unconscious in the driveway. Julian Beck, 60, who played evil spirit Kane in the second installation of the trilogy, Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, died of stomach cancer in 1985. Will Sampson, 53, who played Good Spirit Taylor in the same film, died in 1987 6 weeks after receiving a heart-lung transplant. His death was partially due to kidney failure and fungal infection. However, the film's most shocking death was of child actress Heather O'Rourke. O'Rourke was at the start of her career. She began playing the character Carol Ann Freeling at only 6 years old, and appeared in all 3 Poltergeist films before she died of septic shock. What seemed to be a regular bout of flu turned into cardiac arrest. Bacterial toxins were released due to a bowel obstruction, and they found a way into her bloodstream. She died during surgery. The Omen, 1976. The disturbing story of special effects consultant John Richardson resulted in a campaign claiming that The Omen had been jinxed. Richardson helped craft the movie's most memorable death scenes, including that of photographer Keith Jennings, who is beheaded by a plate of glass. Months later, on June 13, 1976, he and his assistant, Liz Moore, got into a car crash in the Netherlands, in which Moore was beheaded by the wheel of the other vehicle. Many considered this to be eerily alike to Jennings' on-screen death. An infamous rumor is that when the crash happened, Richardson saw a sign that read, Omen 666, indicating a nearby town of Omen. In addition, The Omen producers Mace Neufeld and Harvey Bernard were both nearly struck by lightning on separate occasions. Bernard began to wear a cross on set for protection. "I wasn't about to take any chances," he said 3 decades later. The devil was at work and he didn't want that film made. The Exorcist, 1973. Fires, injuries and a total of 9 deaths surrounded the release of The Exorcist, considered one of the scariest, and possibly deadliest, movies ever made at the time. The set of the McNeil home infamously caught fire and pushed back production by more than a month. Actress Ellen Burstyn injured her tailbone, and subsequently suffered a permanent injury to her spine, when her possessed, on-screen daughter threw her across the room. Reportedly, her harness malfunctioned. "It became scary for us, because of the inexplicable things that were happening as we shot," said Burstyn later. In addition, actors Jack McGowan and Vasiliki Malliarose, whose characters both die in the film, died in real life while the movie was in post-production. The film was reportedly banned in the Middle East, except for Lebanon, due to the belief that it was cursed. In Rome, where several viewers claimed to hear a demon-like scream from outside the cinema hall, one woman was overcome with fear and passed out, breaking her jaw in the process and suing the filmmakers. Other incidents include the cameraman's wife having a stillborn baby and Jason Miller, who played Father Karras, almost losing his son when he was struck by a motorcyclist on an empty beach.